One. Welcome to Dynamos Dozen, the podcast that I bring you each and every single week, where I talk about whatever may be on my mind, from pro wrestling, sports, entertainment, music, movies, musically, fresh socks and jocks, and everything in between, never forgetting the talc. And we make our debut finally on the Dynamo Podcast Network on YouTube today. And what better first guest to have than the beautiful, the great, the enigmatic Thunder Rosa. Rosa,
Well,
welcome back.
I actually put regular makeup on because I was looking like shit. So your viewers don't get scared of how I look. There's another interview that I did after the gym. Oh man, I feel so bad. I was like apologizing the whole entire time. I'm like, sorry, this is all the time.
But I mean, if it was just after the gym, I mean, you shouldn't be apologizing. Come on.
Well, I should have gone home and like changed, but I didn't have time for that. So I was like, whatever, man. It is what it is, y'all.
It is, and this is your second appearance on Dynamos Dozen, but you get the. It's funny because I got a lot of feedback from the first show, as you were the first female wrestling guest and the first female that was on my show. So, I think people might have thought I was chauvinistic or some sort of thing. I don't know. I think that was probably unfair as well. I was just waiting for the right guest, and what better first female guest to have at the time other than Thunder Rosa. And also at that time you were newly crowned NWA champion as well. So I got lucky with timing on that one.
That's crazy. It's been a year already.
Yeah.
I don't got no championships though. Champion.
But you were on national television on a weekly basis now, and that's the difference. You've really kind of come a long way in the space of 12 months, which is crazy. Like I said, we were talking off air there, and I suppose we've kept in touch in the meantime. So that's probably what we were saying, that it may not have felt as long as a year, but when I went back to check it out, I was like, wow, January 31st was the last time we done the show. So like I say, Dynamo Podcast Network exclusive, Thunder Rosa, first guest on Dynamo's Dozen. Eat that, guys. Yeah. So very, very happy to have you here. You're looking well. You're in isolation as well at the moment. You're in your own kind of a lady cave. I'm in my man cave.
I'm a lady cave. Yeah, like even when I'm at home, like I don't like literally don't do anything. I don't go out. I just go to the gym, go and train people, and come home. Like I don't do anything. I'm not in like I don't want to get this thing. It's just not fun.
Yeah, you've got a kind of a strict regime. Anybody that follows you know that you have a kind of a strict regime. They see you on Wednesday nights, and they see you obviously on your social media training, guys and gals as well. What's it been like actually? Because obviously since we spoke last, you were talking about getting trained. What's it like now being a coach? I'd say it seems like something that you've really kind of you're like a duck to water to the coaching thing, which isn't for everybody that's in the business, to be fair.
It's hard to balance it out. Right now I'm having so many responsibilities, not only with the coaching. I started Mission Pro Wrestling. We revamped it in June, and we've been having really successful shows thanks to absolutely everybody that has sponsored us. We have so many local sponsors and like nationwide sponsors, people that just want to support what we're doing, right? And because of their support, we were able to open the school, buy a ring, and get it all set up. And we have an amazing team that we're working with. It's called Mission Concepts. The guy, he's like a self-starter himself, and he like opened the doors for Jazz, Rodney, and I to start teaching. And my husband, when I can't teach, he goes and takes care of the beginners. I mean, he's been through my whole entire career and my whole entire time that I'm training. Like he sat with me for all the things, and we still have that book that I got when I started training, and I use it a lot with the kids.
Yeah,
I call them kids. They're like they're younger than me, because that book really like gave me the basics and really taught me a lot. Not only like the moves, but it taught me so much about knowing the basics and implementing it correctly, and that's gonna separate you from everybody. And it was so interesting because, you know, Jazz and Rodney Mack, they have like years of experience over me by far. And it was very humbling last Friday when we were coaching class and we're teaching amateur wrestling to a lot of the students on Fridays, because it's like when we don't have a lot of the students, because a lot of people get booked or whatever, and some of them just come and then we have them wrestle, and it's really interesting to see like the kids that have it, like that have the when they know how to move, how to flow, and they have no experience, and the ones that kind of like you stay there and stuff. And it's like it's really interesting to see me now as a coach when I tell them like move to the right, go and grab that thing, sit out, like write the person, and they're like what? Like they're not they don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And the ones that we don't have to tell them and they just do it. And then Rodney was like, hey sis, I've been doing amateur wrestling since like I was a child. And like having you teaching the new kids and like getting in there and rolling with them, this is like such a like, fresher breath air, because like I haven't seen a woman teach a class like this.
Yeah.
And it's like, because you're not going to see that. Like I feel like a lot of people focus so much on coaching, and I mean I've been in many different schools, coaching spots and really cool flashy things, but then when you get out there and like the other person can't do half of the stuff that they taught you, you're kind of like left in the blank, right?
Sure.
And then you're like, what am I supposed to do? So just teaching these kids how, you know, you got to build a house and you have to have a really great foundation is going to
Sure.
help them so much here if this is what they really want to do. So I always give them the benefit of the doubt. They all tell me they have dreams of becoming great professional wrestlers. Like you hear this from everybody, but it's like, how much are you willing to sacrifice for this life? Because as you know, this is not an easy life.
No.
And I'm like, like I said, I have the school, I have the promotion. I'm like working on my own stuff, my own career. Um, it's hard, and I want to do MMA still. I have not been able to train ever since I started going to AEW because I'm traveling so much and I've been working on the weekends. Like I can barely go to practice probably once or twice a week, but I got to get back on it, and I want to do it because I want to fight too. So it's just like it's hard, and I tell my students and I tell other students that are in school, if you really want this, no matter what it takes, you're gonna do it.
Yeah. And actually, that's a really, really kind of cool kind of way that you described the training aspect. Here's a question, because obviously coaches have different skill sets and different kind of levels of students that they like to train. And what you said there is so true as well. And probably what's wrong with pro wrestling, especially in the last 5 years, is that people jump from A to Z and they want to go in and do the cool spot and they want to look cool in the ring. But the foundation there, which obviously you're talking about, is knowing the basics, so that if somebody calls something in the ring, you're not going to go like, huh? you know, duck it, duck, tackle. You're like, that happens in the ring, and you gotta be able to be ready for it because it's spur of the moment stuff. What is your favorite aspect of coaching? Do you prefer training newbies, or do you prefer training like intermediate guys, or do you think, because every coach has a different strength? Do you think your strengths are better to like the newer guys or the more experienced guys, and maybe honing their skills?
I like, I mean, of course, I like training this experienced guys because then I can do more advanced stuff with them, like advanced drills that I learned in Japan, that I've learned in Mexico, and things like that. With the beginners, well, it's really nice to see them advance and like move and progress throughout the
Yeah,
weeks,
sure.
or not progress throughout the weeks. So,
Yeah, yeah,
right. I mean, I was a very slow learner myself, so I totally understand. But I am very hard on the boys because I tell them, if I can base a 185 pounds, 200-pound girl or guy, you should be able to carry the other dude just in a fireman's carry. I'm very big on basing and being strong. I was the only female in my class for the longest,
yeah.
and um and I was treated like a man. So I have no, I don't see sex in a different way unless my students are like young, then yeah, because I have two girls that are under the They're like, one is 10, the other one is 11.
Oh
So I
wow.
don't make,
Yeah.
yeah, they're very young. So
Yeah.
I don't, I have to adapt my training to them,
Sure.
but that's like their parents are there all the time. They're very supportive, and we're very careful, with the girls. But yeah, my voice is like, yeah, I tell the guys, I'm like, yo, if I can beat your ass, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, it's some work that you need
It
to do.
makes sense as well. And it's funny because if you look at all the successful, well, I can speak of two girls that I know of. Obviously, Becky Lynch, who, is very, very successful, headline WrestleMania. She was the only girl in our class, and she was treated like one of the guys and didn't want anything other than to be treated like one of the guys. And she will admit herself that it took her a while to get the grasp of it. And then obviously the more she stuck with it, like yourself, the more she stuck with it and just dedicated herself to it, she just rose above everybody. And then you look at somebody, say, in the fight game in Bray as well, my hometown, Katie Taylor, like literally one of the best female fighters on the planet, like an amazing boxer. She is absolutely, I mean, she was the only girl in a legitimate sport fighting guys and tough guys. Her dad was tough on her, and I was up there when my brother trained with her, and her dad would say, if you're going to hit her, you better hit her. Otherwise, I'm going to hit you to the guys. So the guys were like terrified. And the more the guys tried to hit her, they couldn't get near her. So there's something to be said for what the point that you brought up there, that being the only girl in class, from your perspective, I suppose it toughens you up. It gives you that like grit, because you know that in what was then when you started, which is pretty much a predominantly male dominated sport, you needed to go and show that you could match these guys move for move, hold for hold, and session for
Oh yeah,
session. Yeah.
yeah, always. And it's just been like that in MMA too. Like, now that I think about it, is I think there's only like my friend that it was an all my throughout my whole fight camp. She just got pregnant, so she's not gonna be able to be there. She's like the only one who was there, and now it's all the guys. And like, we have like two guys on the UFC, so they're like high caliber right now. They're like training like 3 times a day, and I'm just like coming back. And I'm like, hi guys, they're gonna beat my ass. Like, they don't take it lightly. They be like, you are a professional athlete, and you should be treated like a professional athlete, which means we're gonna challenge you until you
Sure.
want to every fucking day. So don't come and complain at me. And
Yeah.
it's the same. They come from MMA into professional wrestling with my students. I'm like, don't come and complain at me, because I haven't slept. I just got out of the fucking plane, and I'm teaching you a class right now. So I don't want you to hear no complaints or whatever, because it's not like I'm getting it easy because I have a humongous pay contract. And I tell them, like, I teach because of a love of professional wrestling, not because I'm making thousands of dollars. And that's what some people need to understand. Like, some people, when we open some schools, we do it because we love the knowledge that we have, and we want to pass it on. We don't want to keep it. And it's not like because you make great amount of money. Yeah, they'll come in the future, in the future, once you start
Sure.
getting students, getting more established. But at the beginning, it's hard. It's for the love of art. I told my students, I make more money promoting on Instagram pictures on my website than what I will make in a whole month in teaching class. So you guys need to understand, you have to have a love and passion for professional wrestling the first years of your career in order for you to make it. Otherwise, you're not gonna make it, because you invest more than what you're getting out of. And it's hard for a lot of people because they want to make money right away. They want to get paid $150 on the first 2-3 matches. And I'm like, excuse me, you know how long it took me for me to get paid $150? I was, even after I was signed with Lucha Underground, and even then people didn't want to even pay me that. So you gotta have some. I feel like I think like the newer generations are having a more difficult time. I get it. We're all worth something, but it's like you have to pay your dues at one point in
Sure.
order for you to start for a little bit more, especially if you're, because when you're working locally, I understand, like, And now even more than ever, because a lot of people just, they're not running shows. They don't have any wrestling whatsoever. So it is hard. But for us, I've been grinding for 6 7 years, and like, we've been in different TV shows. I'm in a national TV show now almost every other week. Like, I can't be just like, hey bro, yeah, I'll do it for $100. I can't. Like, I own my own school and my own promotion, and I am trying my hardest to take care of like the women that are on our show too, with everything. And but at the same time, like, for the newer talent, the ones that don't have all the reps and all this stuff, like, we all have to start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And it's just that fine line.
Yeah, I agree. Like, and I think what you're doing there as well, because I remember I contacted you when you started the school, yourself and your husband Brian, and I remember, I think this was just shortly after this whole speaking out campaign, and initially you were going to do, like, it was going to be like a one of the first kind of big kind of female only kind of promotions.
Oh, it's run 99.9% by females. Like,
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So
And I think it's really cool because it actually it teaches the guys, respect for women within the industry, but also what you're, by the sounds of the way you've been speaking to me there for the last little while, so passionately, by the way, is that you're creating a culture there of we are all one, we're equal. And I think the wrestling business needs that. And I think going
and
forward, it's great to
and
hear.
it is hard to like verbalize that and make people understand that it's okay for us to say, hey, we're women, it's 2021, we deserve, first of all, we deserve the spot, we deserve the same pay, we deserve
Respect.
the time and the respect, because we work just as hard as some of the men do. And I mean, I'm speaking for myself, and I'm speaking for a lot of my students. They work so hard, and I'm telling you, like, some of the girls are like, they're really like, I am gonna do this on my own, and I'm gonna ask for opportunities that will come because of my hard work. And I have nothing for that, because so many years I'll be like, who's dating who? Okay, oh yeah, okay, now I know why I'm not gonna get booked.
Yeah.
And it's just,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, it's I mean, things need to change little by little. And I think, like, with the group of women that we have in our school, and the girls that I have worked in the last couple of months, is like, I mean, I tell them, like, I tell them how it is. And it's not, like I said, it's not all about the speak out. It is time for us and for somebody to take um the time in I don't know, the initiative of doing something different like this. And it's very challenging, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I was talking to my girl yesterday, and I was like, hey, I would like to bring somebody from AW to do classes on how to, like, work with the referees, right, and cameras, and how it's so important for people to go and do, especially right now with AEW, like, taking a lot of the indie people, like, a lot of people that I don't know, a lot of how to,
Positioning to the camera and where to be exactly. Yeah.
and I don't think, because of the COVID situation, I don't think this is something that is being taught in a lot of schools or just
Sure.
in general.
Sure.
It's like, I told her, I was like, let's do that next time, and let's work on this other thing on the next month. So we're trying to create a curriculum for the rest of the year, and where the classes will be offered to, like, a small group for a small fee, and then the rest, if we can accommodate them, we're charging a little bit more. But, like, the whole thing for us for Mission Pro in 2021 is educating, and by educating I mean in the ring, the things that will give you opportunity. I'm not talking about, like, oh, let's sit down and talk about merchandise or whatever. No, let's talk about like, how are you gonna work when you go to WWE, AEW to do this tryouts, and people are gonna see you
Character.
because
Who are you exactly? Like, I mean,
yeah. So
a great kind of point off the back of what you're saying there for anybody that hasn't seen it. Good friends of mine who are going to be on before this show or next week, I'm not too sure. The Knight family in the UK, obviously Paige's parents. For anyone that's seen the movie Fighting with My Family, it's a great movie. A lot of it is very Hollywooded up, it's not all that way in especially in WWE, you wouldn't just be able to, you wouldn't get tagged for giving someone a receipt if they blatantly just slapped you in the face. You'd probably be told, you'd be encouraged to tag them. But for example, and I'm sure you've ran into this, Rosa, yourself, promo classes, and not just promo classes, but in terms of who you are, what is your character like? I looked at Thunder Rosa on those video packages in NWA, and anybody else that's a fan of yours did, and we knew straight away, this is a dark chick. Like this is a girl, you know, from the graveyards of Tijuana. It was like, I was like, I get exactly what she is just by 10 seconds or 20 seconds of that video package. The kind of coming out, you know, like a Mexican Undertaker type character, just not giving anything away. I don't want to hear her speak for a while. You know what I mean? It's just, but that's character work that we obviously mentioned before, that we spoke about on the last show, that you had spent a lot of time on. So you knew who you were. When you're in the ring, you're not your real name, which we won't give away. You can if you want, but I like kayfabe. I like kayfabe.
Everybody, it's like one thing, man. I love my fans. I love your fans. Don't take this in the wrong way. Don't call me Melissa.
Yes.
You ain't homies, man. Like, yeah. I know I go with Melissa Cervantes. That's my fighting name.
Sure.
But, you know, call me by Thunder Rosa, man. Don't be like, because people be like, yes, Melissa, you look great. And I'm like, I don't know you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because... It's funny because, like, if I text you, sometimes I'm like Mel, but that's because we've texted, you know. But even on the show, I'm like Rosa, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know you kick my ass if I said it wrong, so that's why I'm all right, like, with it.
Okay. Happy silly in Ireland, whenever everything opens up, I'll be like, first thing.
Damn straight. Yeah, but you're gonna have a lot of Guinness, though. I promise you. You better spare.
Oh, don't even make me drink. But a lot of what you were saying in terms of character, even when I did the first promo for AEW, people were like, after they saw me talking, I was like, who the hell is this girl? Why is she talking all this shit? You know? And then they saw me on the ring, I was like, oh, now I know what she's talking about.
Yeah.
So it's like now it's like it took me to be in NWA and have somebody like our producer was, that he had a vision for the character and he really wanted to have that and really ingrain it. And then the work that I was doing in the ring to like get it all together. And I feel like sometimes people have like really great ideas of what their character is, but then when they come in the ring, it just like falls apart.
Sure.
You know, it's not cohesive. And that's the one thing, like Trevor Murdoch helped me a lot in the last couple of months, was to like really, it was Trevor Murdoch, Jazz, and who else? And then my husband is just like to know, to make people know that who Thunder Rosa is, who's like they used to call me the Hammer in NWA, and I'm still that 5'3" little bull that is ready to fight anybody, and that I don't back down for anybody, and that is inside and that's outside of the ring too.
Yeah,
like this is of my life, you know, and like. And you guys see it all the time. You see it in Dynamite, and you see it in Dark, and you see it in the Indies, and you see it when I do matches for title match, and there's no fans in there. It's the same intensity and it's the same person.
Yeah, and it's true. It's like it's kind of a cliche now. We've heard legendary, you know, workers in the business say that your character or who you're portraying in the ring should be an extension of your real personality. And I think that's exactly what you're saying there. You speaking to me right there, little elements of Thunder Rosa came out in just your explanation on that and your verbiage, because that is essentially who you are. You're a fighter. You've had to fight for everything you have. You're still fighting in 2021 as a woman of color as well in the United States, with everything that's going on as well. We won't get into politics too much, but just in terms of you are a representation and a role model for so many young women and young men that are appreciative of your work and what you see. Before we get on to you know, the transformation and obviously, you know, seeing you each week on TNT now, why don't we plug some stuff there, in fairness, because you did mention, obviously you've got the school, you've also got the store as well, which is doing really well. So I think I'd be remiss without saying that if we didn't have at least 2 plugs, one right now and one at the end as well, for some of your stuff and where people can find that awesome t-shirt that you're wearing right now, which are nearly sold out, by the way.
No, I only have one left, I think.
Oh, who's going to be the lucky
you.
guy or girl to get that?
I don't know that big. Let me see what size I have. So you guys can go on Thunder Rosa, which I'm like looking right now. Thunder Rosa. That's where all my stuff are in there. I have some really cool pictures from Puerto Rico that I took. This guy called Sin Arte. I went to took these pictures. It's in this little ass apartment in one of they call them cacerías, which is like apartment complexes.
Sure, yeah.
And then, I mean, I've seen his work. And then when I saw it and I saw the editing, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this year when I'm able to travel, I am going to Puerto Rico and I'm going to take the hottest calendar that has ever been made for Thunder Rosa. I'm just doing it with him. He is absolutely superb. So I have like really sexy pictures that I shipped everywhere in the world, pretty much. Yeah. And I have pictures.
A lot of happy Irish guys right now sitting listening to this show going, oh yes.
I have some delicious ass pictures. I'm not gonna lie in there. I didn't make a calendar because I was like, it cost me more to make a calendar to send L by 10s. So I'm gonna send all my A by 10s that I have, and they're all sexy and cute. So I have the Thunder Chola ones, like my lingerie. I had pops, they're all sold out. Hand painted pops. And then hand painted action figures that as soon as I put them, they went out. I have the Thunder Shola t-shirt. I have some Thunder Japan t-shirts that are special. I don't have that many left. The other ones, pretty much almost everything is sold out. I still have Loteria card shirts, the face shot t-shirts, which is like one left or two. Let's see how many I have. The soft style tee, which is this one. Let's see. I think it's like extra large. No, I only have small. That's the last one I have.
There you go.
I sold them all out. So everything that is in I ordered 50, 60 pieces and they're going fast. They're going very, very fast. So if you want to get them now. I have, like I said, I have some stuff on sale. I don't know, that's sold out. I have some stuff on sale. And if you guys want, I also have, I do Skype phone calls. Don't ask me for nothing naughty because I am not going to do anything naughty. I'm not a webcam girl.
We're not going to condone that on this on Dynamos doesn't either. Yeah, if anybody says that they heard about Skype calls and they get onto Rosa and say, "Oh, I heard you on Dynamos doesn't," we will both just block you, and that's it.
No, I'm not doing that, guys. So just FYI, if like have a conversation like I'm having with you.
Exactly.
More than welcome.
Yep.
I do a special photo shoots like bikini with my gear, whatever. Just like how I saw my pictures. I have them there available. Just hit me up. And so like I said, it's special inquiries. Send me a message. I respond to everything myself whenever I can. And then what was the other thing? MissionProWrestling.net. That's the other place that you guys can go. We still have some merchandise there. And we sell our tickets directly there. If you cannot come to Texas and watch our show, you can go on titlematchnetwork.com and you can watch our show live there. Our last show, we had 28 different countries watching our show.
Nice. What we'll do as well, when we put this show up on YouTube, and obviously on Spotify as well, we will put all of the links in the description as well. So it'll be easy for people to find that they don't have to just remember you saying it. So we'll put whatever link you want, Rosa, we will we'll have them all down in the description. So that's the best thing to do. I think people can find you that way.
And then we also have the school. It's the Duck Pound Dojo. If you want to do a drop-in class, hit us up, send us an email. We'll give you all the prices. You can do a drop-in class, or you can do a week, or you can do 2 weeks, or you can do a month. We're here in Texas, and we're super excited to teach class.
Awesome. I love hearing it. It's great. And this is one of the reasons that I wanted to bring you back on, because obviously we've got a year's worth of stuff to talk about. So let's get into the
You just missed me. Say the truth. You just missed me.
I did. Yeah, it's true.
Just wanted to talk to me.
Yeah, but you miss me too because you're back. You see, you plead the
I
fifth.
miss
You
your
plead.
we missed each other's accents.
We did. That's it. A Mexican accent and an Irish accent speaking on the one podcast, and now
I
people
know.
can see us. Now people can
I
see
know.
us. Um, I've been told by one fan to not make them cry again after the last show because
I
you.
won't.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not.
It was a very good friend of mine, actually, a guy that I had my first ever wrestling match with, Joe Doigan. He's on the Four Podmen podcast I was telling you about, and he said, "Well, the one thing I just want you to say to Rosa is to please don't make me cry again." So
Oh my.
there you go. Um, so yeah, obviously what a year it's been. I mean, obviously Power, the success on Power on YouTube was just absolutely astronomical. And then, you appear on AEW, and of course, me being one of your biggest fans, I'm marking out going, hell yeah, that chick is getting exactly what she fucking deserves now. So AEW are picking up, you know, exactly the hottest talent at the moment in the female division in wrestling. And
Yeah.
I'm saying to myself, right, surely WWE are going to come in right now, but AEW get there first. Without getting into, I suppose, obviously we talked about this, without getting into details about how it all, you know, contracts and stuff like that. How did that come about in terms of how? Because this happened during COVID time as well.
Yeah, dude, I was contacted like August, mid-August,
Yeah.
by Mr. Morgan, and he brought it up that I will be doing this. And that it was a one-time deal, like just
One
the
shot. Yeah.
pay-per-view, and it turned out to be like they call me the next week, and they call me the next week, and they call me the next week, and Tony and Mr. Corgan have been working together for me to work in AEW, and it's been working really well. And now Serena Deeb is the champion, is the NWA Women's Champion. She will be defending the championship next week. And I've been learning so much from working at AEW in terms of like working in a production the way that it's the way that is being run in AEW, the whole culture there and everything, and I'm just like sucking it all in and enjoying every moment of it. Like I said, I am really grateful that this is happening to me and that I'm like on TV every other week. That's a blessing. I mean, that is right there just tells you that they appreciate your work and they appreciate the passion and the fire that your character brings to TV. And also like fans are really, they've been really good in terms of like the criticism. I have been getting really good feedback from all the matches that I've had during this stint in working with AEW. And like I said, I'm really happy to be on the stage and to be in a national television and even in YouTube right now, because a lot of my friends, a lot of my peers, unfortunately, because of the COVID-19 situation, they have not been able to like work regularly. And I'm like I said, I am really blessed,
Yeah.
and I'm praying. I pray every day that I stay healthy, because healthy is wealth more than anything else. Like
For
once you're not
sure.
healthy, you're
Yeah,
stuck.
your health is your wealth, as my grandmother used to always tell me. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's my mantra in 2021: staying healthy, no matter what. Yeah. So like I said, I am very thankful to NWA and AEW for again putting their trust in my work. And like I said, every time I step in that ring, like I made sure people remember who I am, either with my gear, either with my strout getting in the ring, or with my work, or with my promos. Whatever that
Yeah.
is, people are gonna know who Thunder Rosa is.
Yeah, I love it because, like, I suppose for fans of the NWA product like me, who are old school wrestling fans, and hearing that NWA was coming back in studio wrestling, we talked about this before, but for fans that didn't hear the previous show, go back on it on the Dynamo Podcast Network. It's January 31st. You'll find it. Go back down, and it's a really really cool interview that we did. Um, one of the things that I think that we mentioned on it as well was the fact that it was studio wrestling was being brought back, and you were kind of you were kind of I think the reason, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think one of the reasons that so many people got behind you was because like you were like one of the NWA's original. It felt anyway like that you were, one of the NWA original, girls. No one had seen you on TV before in the way that they had seen you on the YouTube series. Um, so people got behind you because right, we know who the rest of the girls are. Some people do. We know who the guys are. They've just been marketed a little bit differently. But Thunder Rosa was something very unique, something very special, something very different. And would you agree with that synopsis? Correct me if I'm wrong.
You know what? I didn't really think about it that way, but yeah, I guess I'm NWA original. Like NWA was a platform that brought my name up to the light, not to the numbers of people that national broadcasted television will do.
Sure,
but was definitely a place where I was able to thrive in a way that I pretty much never done before, and I'm really excited. I'm really, really blessed for that. And then I guess the second part of the year, which was last year, it was my duty to bring my name to a bigger,
worldwide.
But I mean, I could have totally shit the bed, honestly. Like when I went to AW,
you could have, but you didn't. That's the thing.
I did the first match, and everybody was like, "Who's this chick? She sucks, man! Like, why even like how girls are outside wrestling? She sucks." But oh, the stakes are really high. Like, I gotta perform, and I remembered, man, Brian. It was like we were in Corpus Christi. We were taking a mini vacation. We ended up being this business thing. Like, we left right away because like we had to get like clothes and like all the stuff for AEW and stuff. He like literally walked with me for an hour, and he looked at me and he stopped me from walking, and he said, "You better not shit the bed."
Like 8 Mile Road, you better not choke.
Yeah, dude, no, for real. We were actually listening to that song
as
we were, and he was like, "You better not shed the bed. You only got one chance," and that's it. No, I'm serious. Like watching 8 Mile all over again with wrestling, female wrestling.
Which is the worst thing to do. Which is the worst thing to do because like the whole consensus is right. You can concentrate on two things right now: on choking or the latter part of the movie.
Yeah. So, like, are you serious? You have no faith in me? It's like, no, I do have all the faith in the world, but this is what's gonna make you or break you.
Yeah.
You're about to do a pay-per-view, and I'm not talking about pay-per-view on Fight TV. You're about to do one. It was actually on Fight TV, but I was like, but it's like for a national broadcasted show, Melissa. He was like, you need to take it to the next level, whatever that is. And if you don't get anything during your match, make sure whatever you get in, people remember you. You've done it before. I trust you, but you cannot shit the bed on this one. And you got to be concentrated, focus, and don't bullshit. And I was like, all right, I got you. So I legit have the notes of my match, and like I literally was like watching my match with Allison Kay the night before, just to remember like the amount of passion and the storytelling that we had, and like what that match brought for me in my career. Because like after I had that match, I literally the whole entire year started like my confidence just started growing, and I'm just gonna have a good match every time I step in the ring. I don't care if it's like a 5-minute match or it's a 20-minute match. Like, my matches are gonna be good. Like, I want people when people see me with other people, probably gonna be their best match they ever had. Like, straight up. I had I had a match with Priscilla Kelly. I know she's a great performer. We had a 25-minute match, and everybody's like, "Well, that should have been like, match of the year." And yeah, it should have been a match of the year. It was one of the most like hardcore, like hard hitting matches that you've seen the whole entire year. Like, I don't bullshit in the ring, man. Like, that's one thing I don't like the bullshit. I'm there, and I bring it. Like I said, it's an 8-minute match, and everybody, even at AEW, they know, like, hey, that Thunder Rosa, you better bring it because she's gonna give it to you.
She doesn't fuck about. Yeah.
Like, I like how Az was like calling my match on Dark. He's like, she's known for having a heavy hand, you know.
Yeah. And that she's known for having a heavy hand. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
What's your favorite? Actually, are you?
Yeah.
This is actually a question that I always like to ask. People within the business. What is your like? Do you prefer calling the match in the ring with just little basic kind of like getting the structure? The old school way: start, middle, end. Once you got that down, you call the rest in the ring. And then you got some people that literally have to know exactly what's happening all the time, and they're usually the people, by the way, that ask you, "Shit, what was the next spot?" Well, they go for a headlock takedown. It's like, do you prefer to gonna have the skeleton structure and then put the meat on the bones during the match, or do you prefer to have everything kind of planned out?
What I feel on the day. Like, I know TV, you have to like have a structure because they have to know what's gonna be next for, like, especially when you have segments. So that's very important for everything, and that's like how I pretty much like all my matches on like Lucha Underground and like where else? I don't remember doing that for NWA as much. AW is pretty similar. I like to work on the fly. Like when I do with indies, I just structure it like,
bare minimum.
Shine, come back.
Yeah.
Like the finish part is like the most important. But no, man, I mean, I like to work. Like when I used to get in the ring with Jazz, we just worked and we just call it finish.
I like that.
But that is a skill to have, because not everybody can do that.
Sure. And this goes back to what you spoke about earlier. And we were talking about, before we even come on the show, it's about your basic training. And it's about having that foundation. If you want to build that big house and you want to become that big mansion that people want to invest in, then you got to have that foundation solid and laid to the point where you can call it in the ring, because and you can speak on this more than me, that in this business you will have people that are the Macho Man Randy Savage of this world that have everything written down, and you need to know word for word, exactly move for move, what's coming next. And then you will also run into the people that will call it in the ring and like to call it in the ring. So that's why I asked you that question, and that was a pretty good answer. But I could tell you call it in the ring a lot though as well. Like, and it's funny, which again, it's very true. It's something that you can see with the trained eye. You can see who is kind of calling it in the ring and who's kind of waiting for, people with their arms up. I mean, how do you feel about dives? Dives are the perfect one, we're just sitting out here.
I don't do dives because
I know. You're like the female Bret Hart. I think that's why I like your work. You're like the female Bret Hart. And I'm giving you the ultimate compliment.
No, I know. And I appreciate that. I don't. My only dive, like, you know what it is like I do the go through the ropes with my feet like a drop kick, because I don't have to. And nobody catch me.
That's the best dive to do, because it's impactful. It gives the other person to kind of take a nice big bump against the railings or whatever, and you don't have to break your ass.
Man, I can tell you. I was telling one of my friends from Lucha Underground, Shane Strickland, we were just talking about like dives and like, Lucha Underground recently. And I was like, bro, I have not done any crazy dive in about probably a year and a half.
That's better.
None. Like crossbody, what is it? Tornillo to the outside. Beautiful. Like from the third to the outside. You know how many times I landed on my hip? And there was like 6 people catching me. I was like, fuck that, I'm stopping that. Then I used to do the
right?
Bro.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't, like, fuck this shit. And then I used to do another one, like it's like a senton, like swanton kind of thing from the third. I used to do that. I used to do some crazy stuff before, like on my second, third year, and now I'm just like,
because that's when you're trying to get noticed. You're literally putting your body on the line to get noticed. But then when you know the craft, then you can literally just work, and that's exactly what you're doing
now. Like definitely a storytelling, and more than any moves. Like, my moveset is very, very settled, very small. Yeah, I come up with like new things here and there that I know that nobody's doing,
Yeah.
Especially because the wrestling, everybody does everybody's moves. Um, but yeah, I want people to like remember me for my body of work that I do inside of the ring and the storytelling that I tell.
Are you listening, Vince McMahon? God damn it.
Hey, if get some under contract, so
Hey, I'm only kidding. I'm only creating.
all he wants.
I'm just creating. I'm trying to create a bidding war here. It's like,
Like the contract, man. I don't think they can be like, hey, Thunder Rosa, so I just can't. So I'm
what
gonna be
about
patient.
Yeah, we're not going to talk contract stuff. What about actually you've obviously done some really cool stuff this year as well. I mean, you were on Chris Jericho's podcast as well, which is really cool. Chris Jericho took an interest in you there. What's it been like in AEW? Obviously, getting to be around people like Chris Jericho, who is obviously, one of the goats of the business, and it's not just a word that he says, but being around the likes of Cody, Jericho. How's that experience been? Has anybody kind of taken you under their wing, or?
No, I go and ask a lot of questions. Like at Chismosa, I am very curious about everything. So,
Sure.
Jericho, he's like mastermind. He's always doing something. He's always having a new little business. Like he just, I guess, probably last produced a new movie, like a documentary style movie. And like before that, like now he has his line of clothing, and then before that he had something else going on, then the cruise, and he's always like finding new things and new sources of revenue to like bring it to the table. And it's not only wrestling, and then he has wrestling, then he has that bubbly, he has champagne, like he's on everything.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, and then he has his music, he has the podcast, like all the sponsors like he gets on the podcast. Like I've been listening to his podcast the last couple of months, and it's like he's getting more and more sponsors, and like I'm not talking about little sponsors, he's getting about big sponsors. So it's like I see all that stuff, and I see how they make business. So I'm like, you know what? I want to replicate something like that. Like, who do I need to talk to? So this is always asking questions like, hey, what do I need to do? It's like, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. And like trying to like finding the way and finding the money to implement something like that. So, you can do that at the same time. And it's, I was talking to all the, like I see what, Cody doing the same thing. He's with the TV shows. He's with, he has his cigar line. Like him and his wife are really good at, or publicists are really good at, finding people to like cover their personal stuff. It's stuff like that. People got like, I mean, you gotta be like, man, learn everything. I'm like, no, they're being smart about what they're doing.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen do a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, even when I like,
sorry,
I observed Tony Khan and all the businesses that his family have, and like all the stuff that come into being somebody so wealthy and and is still being a kind-hearted person to like everybody that works there. It's like I said, there's so much. Like sometimes I just sit back and write notes. And I'm so serious. It's like there's so much to learn that is beyond the ring, that is incredible. Like I don't have enough time to keep learning and like trying to like implement or attempting to implement some of the stuff and making sure that it's like, that it works in my own brand, right? So it's like, all right, cool, and it's pretty amazing.
Well, I hope everybody, guys and girls that are thinking of getting into this business and not even necessarily into the wrestling business, are taking notes. That is really the key, is asking questions and asking them in the right way and kind of, just learning. That's what life's journey is about, not just a professional wrestling journey. So I really do commend you on that. I suppose as we kind of wind down, Rosa, there's some questions that some people have that we should
what's the question? That they want to be my slaves and they want to send me money?
No, there's nothing like that. I always make sure to filter things, so it's all good.
Okay.
A lot of these ones are actually from people that are on the network as well. Boom. Let me see. Where do we go? Boom.
Sorry, I have
Good.
dark humor.
Here we go. Here we go. Um. Oh, this is a good one actually. This is from Joe. This is the guy that you made cry on the last show.
Aw, I'll think about it in Ireland, honey.
Shout out to Joe, dog. Yeah, that's all
Shout
good.
out to Joe.
Shout out to Joe. Who are the people that you miss from the road, and what are the things that you miss most from the road? So, who are the people that you miss from the road, and what are the things that you miss most from being on the road regularly?
I miss being with Holly Dad. We spent a lot of crazy weekends together. Who was the other one that we used to be out with all the time? There's very, very few. My friends from Northern California was my friend Joey, Serena, my husband, and I. We used to take a lot of road trips together in California. And just like right now, what I miss being on the road is just like random stops or like random like pictures or like eating at different places and just having everything open.
Seeing different cities and stuff like that and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah, like man, I don't remember when was the last time I even did it here in Texas. I used to travel a lot in Texas. Like Texas will be Baby D. She was one of the girls that she used to like drive from Dallas, which is 4.5 hours, just to come and pick me up and drive me back to Dallas. I used to like have really good memories. I was going over my pictures of my last 6 years of wrestling on Facebook, and it was rough. I almost like shed a tear yesterday because
You're
I
not
haven't
crying
seen
on
some.
this one. You're not crying on this one.
Some of these people have been months and probably a year and a half. So
Sure.
it's this.
Yeah, that's a fair answer. I have a good one here as well from Dara. You know the YouTuber Jake Paul is he's obviously done boxing now, and he's had a couple of boxing matches, and he's calling out Conor McGregor for a
I hope he
super.
ass beat, man.
Yeah, yeah. So this you're gonna enjoy this one. Yeah, listen, don't mess with a Dubliner. You know, an Irish Dublin man. Well, we're not all Conor McGregor, to be fair. Um, YouTuber Jake Paul is calling out Conor McGregor for a super fight worth over $100 million. If you could call out a YouTuber or an influencer, who would it be for an easy payday?
Fuck. Who would it be?
So I guess
That's
he's probably saying a YouTuber or influencer or someone famous that talks a lot of shit that you.
you know, I I really don't watch YouTube like that or like influencers because
Me
especially when
neither.
people are negative. Like I'm
Yes.
like, bro, I barely have time to like do my own YouTube. You think I'm gonna be watching YouTube like
I'd
that? I
pay to
mean, I know
watch you. I'd pay to watch you fight Miley Cyrus. That would be pretty funny.
Miley Cyrus.
I'd pay to watch you fight her. Well, not because
Fuck,
it wouldn't be a
fuck,
fight. Yeah.
fuck. Pay that much money. I'll like, challenge anybody. I don't give a shit if I get knocked out. I don't care. It's a good ass payout.
50. You'd fight Miley Cyrus for 50 G's, for God's sakes. Come on. um.
I know people will pay more than that.
Hey, actually, someone actually said the answer would be Jake Paul because you'd probably beat Jake Paul. um. Where we go? Oh, here's a good one. With Okada tweeting about wanting all wrestling companies to do one big blow off show once lockdown ends. Do you think that this is a good idea? Could it work? And if so, who would you like to face if you could face anybody in the world of wrestling? That's actually a pretty good question. A lot of questions in one, but
That's a good one, but I don't know if like politics and everything and like
sure,
booking and stuff.
sure.
That's the problem with having like big shows like that.
But say like the
Uh,
Marvel universe and the DC universe just could come together for one day, and it was the same in the wrestling business. Like if I
I have
suppose,
I haven't wrestled Diana Peroso. That'll be a
okay,
good one to wrestle.
okay. And in WWE, who would be your pick? Who do you think that you
It
would
has to be
like?
it has to be Sheree.
Yeah, same.
I haven't
Cool.
1-on-1.
I like that. Boom. And here's the last question, which is a really, really great question from one of my four Podmen brothers, Jay, who I told you about before. I can't take credit for this question. Um, do, 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 do. There we go. Where is it? Okay.
You lost.
This is a really good one. No, I have it here. What have you never been asked in an interview but always wanted to answer?
What the fuck?
That's a mind fuck, that one, isn't it?
Oh my god, I don't know. They always ask me the same questions. And I'm just like so like used to answer, like I have like a way to answer them.
Do I always ask
I
you?
don't
I don't ask you the same questions, to be fair.
No, you don't, but I don't know. That's a good question to answer. I was not ready for
I know
this.
what your question is and what you would like to be
What?
asked. Who is your favorite person to do a podcast with? And of course, it is Ian Kelly from Dynamos Dozen.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, yeah. She's been on Jericho's show. There's no way she means that. I'm kidding. I suppose before we do let you go, there's two more things we need to speak about. Obviously, we had a tragic passing, obviously, of Brody Lee.
Yeah.
Be remiss without kind of paying a little bit of a tribute in some way here on Dynamos Dozen. Did you have many interactions with Brody, like in your short time there, obviously with himself? And
No, it was very short. Track more with his family,
yeah,
with his wife and the kid, than unfortunately with him. But the few times that um I I interact with him, he was like, just like everybody said, he was a wonderful human being.
yeah, I just thought we should at least pay a little bit of tribute. And then lastly, as well, there's two men, and I told you I would say this as well. There's two men in the world of pro wrestling. One who commentates on your matches, which is the great JR.
Mm-hmm.
The other is literally like Marmite. You either love him or you hate him, and that's Jim Cornette. And both men have spoken super highly of you. You know, probably for years in terms of in Jim Cornette's situation, probably for the last year or so. Jim Cornette's really been singing your praises, even on AEW. Really enjoyed you kicking ass in certain times, which we won't get into, but he's a big fan of yours. And JR, who always has something very, very positive to say and always makes little comparisons with some of your work, to some of the greats as well. So how does that make you feel when you hear, two absolute
How do you
legends?
how do you think it makes you feel?
Your
I
face
mean,
tells it all.
I don't say like, oh my, you hear what he said about me? I mean, I said it to you like earlier, but I don't really like,
Sure.
but I don't really like want to be like, oh my god,
Yeah.
It feels good. Um, it's just like, again, I don't, just because one person said something, like somebody's gonna differ on their opinion, right?
Yeah.
So my whole goal is still the same, which is become one of the best, if not the best in the world. Because I don't want to be like, oh, you are like the best right now. I hate that comment right now. I know I'm one of the best, period. That's it. There's not right now. And I keep working on continue to be one of the best of until I retire, because this is how I am. Like I said, I have 6 years in this business and I busted my ass to become who I am and to have what I have. And I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna allow anybody to take it away from me. And I'm just gonna keep working on being the best that I can be anytime I step in the ring, for me and for my opponent too.
Well, like I say, Rosa, not just because you're my pal. I mean this. I've obviously, and I've only kind of come to this conclusion in the last, say, 3 to 4 months. I do believe that you are the Bret Hart of the female wrestling world, without a shadow of a doubt. I think not that you work the same, but it's the same storytelling. It's the same hard work in the ring. You don't do anything that you can't do. You don't do anything that you don't need to do. You don't take unnecessary risks. You tell a story in the ring, and by the end of the match, win, lose or draw, you know what story you've just that has just unfolded in front of your eyes. So that's my tribute to you, and I mean that. I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass. That's what I see. So that's for what it's worth. That is my opinion.
Well, oh, thank you. I'm like I said, I just keep working hard on becoming better every day.
Yeah, and
I
that's
work for that.
all you can do. And I think the only way we can always end the show before we say goodbye is to give one more plug to your merch stuff as well, because as I said, it's going to happen twice. Go to thunderrosa.com.
Net, I sent all
.net.
this back.
.net.
.net. I
.net.
sent all this back myself. Like if you see the handwriting, that's my handwriting.
Yeah.
I sent everything myself still. So you'll be lucky if you get one of my bags that was like delicately.
Help this girl get all of her stuff sold out. That's what we're doing here. Help this girl get all of her stuff sold out.
I have a goal this year for my merchandise, and it's to make. I always have goals every year. I mean, every month, but I want to make $6,000. That's like my lowest. I want to make $6,000 this year. Have a very specific goal on how much money I want to make, and that will help me to get to that goal.
My fee for promoting this is only 5%, so it's okay. No, I'm kidding. No, we listen, Rosa. It's been an absolute pleasure. Once again, I'm sure you'll be on again soon when you win the AEW Women's Championship, when all this stuff gets.
I know that God is with me, and when everything is settled and done with everything, and I'm ready to move from one other company to another company, I know that I will come to whatever company I decide to go, or if I decide to stay, as champion, because it's like the least that I deserve. A championship. No, I'm just kidding.
You're gonna be the champ. Oh,
but I'm for the top person.
We should say before we go, actually, let's talk about this real quick. Obviously, your rivalry with Allysin Kay has culminated into a legitimate fight. It's going to happen in February, I believe.
Yes, you thought it was going to be an MMA fight. She is not on my weight. On my weight, I think she goes to like 125 or 145. I'm not sure. I am a 115, so I'm featherweight. I think she's welterweight. So no, we're gonna fight in a real cage match in wrestling on February 6th at Mission Pro Wrestling, and you all can watch this online live on TitleMatchNetwork.com. TitleMatchNetwork.com. And as you guys saw, that we were heated all last year, and we were never able to culminate our last dance because we were supposed to have for the, what was it? Crockett Cup. That never happened. But we have an opportunity one more time to step in the same ring. Allysin Kay and I. And she's still talking shit. And last time she said that she specs that we don't use those little wires to tie the cage. And we told them that those wires here in Texas for the bread that we use they're very strong and they're very big, like anything in Texas. So she will be safe. The cage is not gonna fall. The only time that the cage is gonna fall is if I push her too hard or something happens, or she falls over. That's the only thing that is gonna fall is her body from the cage. Well, but if not, but if not, like I said, I'm ready for this one. Like I'm ready to settle things. I'm ready to bring this rivalry to an end for now. And like I said, there's been a lot of things that she said last year. She just went in against me, and it was very personal, and I don't appreciate some of the words that she said. So I'm really happy that we get to settle all this bad blood that it's between her and I in this cage match.
Well, all I could say is that Allysin Kay, you should change your name to Allysin Danger, because when you step in the cage with Thunder Rosa, you are in danger, and you better look for any way out, because she is going to whoop your ass. And on that note, Rosa, it's been an absolute pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, debut show of Dynamos Dozen podcast has been me, Ian the Dynamo Kelly, with the great Thunder Rosa. It's been an absolute pleasure. Go check out all of our merch. Go check out all of our links, which are going to be in the description below. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button to the Dynamos podcast network and all that stuff. And yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure, Rosa.
Likewise. And again, thank you so much to all the fans all over the world. I'm not going to say just in the United States, but all over the world that continue to support me online, by buying my stuff on my merchandise. I mean, on my website, by watching my shows online, but watching AEW and supporting me with great comments and likes and retweets and everything. Remember, all the things that you guys do online is being seen by these companies, and it just gives more value to my brand. And again, I'm more than humble for all of that you guys are doing and helping me do for the future, for my future, and for the future of my family.
I love it. I love it. And until the next time, which there will be a next time, no doubt, Dynamos is over and out. Because you miss me again, you know that.
Yeah, I miss your accent.